Hey, Venom Fang. This is my response to your video. I have to say, I was actually very proud. Actually, I was happy that you pointed out all that information, because I have to say, not a lot of people have been able to pick up on these prophetic, uh, this prophetic material that's in the Revelations and the Bible, and people don't like if people really don't understand what's going on in their world and they're not reading their Bible. So you've actually done something which I figure, in my opinion, is very strong. Now, I have to say too, um, I wish you had given me a little bit more information as to what the Quran says about the apocalypse, because it seemed like you kind of just, you're like, well, it says that the Muslims will overtake the Israelites, or the Israelis now they call them, and that'll be it. But I wish you just had expanded a little more on that. But the fact that you know, like God, Jesus puts their integrity on the line as far as the prophecy and Revelation, and all of those things are coming to pass. That's pretty convincing, in my opinion. So you actually made a very valid point. And I'm happy because now a lot of people are going to see this, and it's going to be very positive. Um, as far as all of the stuff that you said, I've actually been studying on the same issue, and I could tell you a little bit more about it. If maybe because it seemed like in the beginning you were stating that it seems like you didn't have enough information to start out the video, but now you have more than you have, like more than you need. But as far as all of that, I actually had been studying like geopolitics in the Middle East, as far as like um, just the military strategy, just like how the wars actually were conducted, what actually happened. You know, uh, I learned about all of that, and it is very convincing to see that a small amount of people actually able to defend themselves. They have like just understanding the vast disadvantages that the Jewish people have. The fact is, militarily, they had no ground. If they were to be taken over, they would have to retreat into the sea. That's pretty bad as far as military strategy. Um, the fact that they were very low in numbers, they were vastly outnumbered, outmaneuvered, outpositioned, had less tanks, less airplanes. They had almost no air power. What else? Their people were not trained. They had not been war hardened, but although I have to take that back, because you know what too, the Holocaust is very disheartening. And your people suffering through that, I would have to say, that's that can really change your life. And I could see why people in Israel would fight so hard for their country. America used to be the same way, but nowadays we don't experience war the way most people do now. We're not as desperate. Um, as far as all of that stuff, basically, they didn't do it on their own, though. They did a lot of it on their own, most of it on their own. As far as the weaponry, a lot of the weaponry was supplied to them by America, and actually, I think the first 6 days war, it was actually supplied to them by the Soviet Union, which was interesting. I found that very interesting. I don't know why the Soviet Union would actually supply them with anything, but nowadays they have all American stuff, and their equipment is their military and their economy is almost like the U.S. Their economy, I think, is actually probably about a quarter or probably 30% of ours. So they're pretty strong as far as a country goes. Their military, very up to date. Their troops are trained. Their secret service, the Mossad, is very similar to our CIA. The Mossad are crazy. So I would say, just altogether, they fight hard. They probably fight a lot harder per person than the American army, and they're pretty crazy. But That's just militarily. This is what I've studied through my. I'm actually doing military statistics as a minor in college. So I have to say, like, military, like, looking through all this stuff, basically, the Israelis are very, very strong as a military. They can be overrun. They can be overrun theoretically, but the ideas of, the Bible and all of this stuff, when you have God backing you up, there's no competition. I mean, even America will fall at one. I mean, even the American army can be defeated, but that's because we don't have God backing us up like He does the Israelis. So I just wanted to point that out because I'd just been studying on the issue for a while. I've studied up on the Yom Kippur War, Six-Day War, the Lebanese war that just recently, like just the Lebanese thing that just happened with Hezbollah and Hamas doing rocket attacks into Israel. Actually, that war, I would have to say, Israel probably went a little bit over the top because they just completely leveled Lebanon. And I gotta say, like, thinking about it in another political view, I wish King Hussein was still there in Jordan. Although he didn't necessarily have the brightest opinion of Israelis, he would have brought a lot more peace and stability as far as this, powder keg goes. But I would have to say, I really did like your video. So before I'd watched some of your videos, and I felt like they came a little bit offensive to some. Now, I understand that God's Bible is a two-edged sword, but you don't necessarily have to force that. God's going to force it in His own way, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying that to hurt you in any way. I'm just, I figure that's why I show meekness in my speech, and I tend to not like to try and engage the person with my speaking. I don't want to try and provoke like any kind of confrontation, so I'm very, very gentle as far as I speak. Overall, I do like your style. I do like your the things that you say and you do throughout your video. You do make very valid points. I do notice there was something that I found kind of disturbing. The fact that you actually block people's comments or video responses to you because they don't agree with you. Now, I don't understand what the case is with that, because I've had several people tell me that, and I've heard it throughout YouTube. And I don't know what that's about. I just, honestly, I'm hoping you won't block mine, because otherwise then I'd feel like you wouldn't have heard what I had said. In all honesty, too. Yeah. Great vid. Very great vid. I could actually, if you want to know a little bit more about it, I could actually, give you some more information as far as, like, history goes. The Bible, I already know what it says in the Bible. So, I am a Christian, just so you know. I have read over and over and over, and I'm probably going to read it again now. But, repetition is a beautiful thing. Anyway, I like your video. You made very, very valid points, and hopefully this will make a point to everybody that maybe there is some truth to the Bible. Well, there is. So, you have a good day, sir.